What's up everyone, my name is Royal Rebel, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the latest Dead by Daylight update. Now this is the last planned update for 2022, and I think the developers announced some interesting changes coming to the game. And then for those who may want to read the updates for yourself, I'll be leaving a direct link in the description below. And one quick thing to note, it does look like most of these updates are coming to the 6.4.0 version of the game. So first up is getting bots and custom matches. Originally this was announced back with the anniversary update. DBD is going to allow for custom bots in the game starting in the 6.4.0 version of the game, and right now it's just looking like it's going to be survivor bots, but the developers did say they have plans to introduce killer bots at a later time. Players will have an option of what survivors are in the game, although the perks, items, and add-ons will be limited on the bots. The devs didn't give us a whole lot of detail on this. That's pretty much it. I think this is a great addition to the game. I think by now we're all sick of like the wonky matchmaking in Dead by Daylight, and giving new players a space for them to practice playing killer without the pressure of going up against other players is a great thing to have. Like, I know personally one of my biggest struggles playing killer is the anxiety I get going up against a 4-man, and I've played this game on and off since it came out. For new players, I think this will be especially helpful. The developers also announced some visual improvements, and while I'm really not going to go and give an opinion on these, I'll still share some of the pictures for you guys to see for yourselves. It looks like breakables are getting cosmetic changes as well as the basement getting a rework. These changes weren't really my cup of tea, but it's also not like this is taking anything away from the game to make these changes, so matter of opinion. The devs also announced a bit of a sneak peek into changes coming to matchmaking. So the full announcement is expected to come out sometime this week, but it looks like the devs are including matchmaking based on team rankings. So not only will there be a player's MMR being taken into account, but there's going to be an overall team score that they'll have as well. And so this is supposed to make, like, you know, endgame sacrifices a little less punishing for players. Another factor that they're going to add into MMR is for players who've taken extended breaks. So basically they're giving rusty players like a few lower ranked matches before deciding what their current MMR is going to be or what it currently is. And honestly, both of these sound like decent things to include in matchmaking. And while I'm hopeful, I'm still gonna wait to see how they actually play out, because one of the most frustrating things to me about Dead by Daylight is the matchmaking system. Even after all the work the devs have put in, it still feels really unbalanced compared to pre-MMR. Personally, for me, it feels like my matches, I'm either getting my ass handed to me or I'm running circles around the killer. Truly balanced matches feel so rare, but I want to be hopeful that this gets us closer to more balanced matches. The developers also announced an update on the cheats. They've listed out some of the cheats that have been patched, and I'm not going to go through and read the whole list, but it does include things like instantly powered generators, multiple killers in a match, and taking away extended flashlight burn. They've also changed the maximum length matches can be, and I believe it got shortened to 1 hour. So if there's anything going on that's holding the game hostage, you won't have to wait as long. I believe it used to be 2 hours, so they cut an hour off from there. But the developers also plan on sharing more details on the next update, specifically on cheating. And along with this, the developers have also updated the temporary ban policy. I'm not going to go into much detail on it, mostly because the ban policy is so vague. I don't actually know how it's enforced. The only players I've ever heard of it getting enforced on are Xbox players, but I don't know too many players that even take player reports seriously, and so them lessening the length of time on temp bans isn't all that interesting. But if you guys want to see the exact lengths, the link to the update is in the description below. And now on to what I think is the most interesting update coming to Dead by Daylight, and it's the changes coming to flashlights. Now before I get too into these, I want to note I don't think either of these are really making or breaking the game. Flashlight saves in the average Dead by Daylight match aren't really all that common, so I'm kind of shocked that they did either of these. So it's a good news, bad news situation for flashlight users in Dead by Daylight. So the good news is the developers recognize how tricky it is to pull off flashlight saves in Dead by Daylight, so they're giving players an extra quarter of a second after a killer picks up a player to get that flashlight save. Again, I don't think this is going to encourage new players to try and go for flashlight saves the way developers think it will. A quarter of a second is so short, it's not making or breaking anyone's flashlight saves, so like this change almost feels like not a change. But the bad news is there are no more flashlight saves at lockers. So after the 6.4.0 update, killers will get a blindness immunity when pulling survivors out of lockers. While I can think of a number of ways to counter locker grabs, apparently the developers just think they're too strong, which which I find very ironic when in this same update talk about how tricky flashlight saves are. And locker saves are such a rare event, I'm surprised they're even bothering messing with it. But I also feel like there were better changes they could have made so that you preserve the ability to get saves at lockers, but also like combat bully squad. So like one example I've heard people talk about is take away the double lockers. Now depending on which locker is removed, this creates pockets where flashlight saves would be impossible, but it wouldn't be map wide. And this would also preserve the option for flashbangs to be used, because the update specifically states blindness immunity. So that means players probably won't be able to use flashbangs at lockers either. But those are the updates coming to Dead by Daylight. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more Dead by Daylight content. And if you guys want to check out my Twitch streams, I currently go live on Sundays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.